At Truliant, we're with you at every milestone, making it easier for you to shine. So you can saddle up each morning for more than a paycheck. Have the support to expand your horizon, the space to grow your family, and your brightest dreams never have to fade. At Truliant, we help you shine. That's brighter banking. Truliant Federal Credit Union.
Welcome to the Greater Conversations podcast. I'm Deetra Miller, the Director of Member Relations and Engagement at Greater Winston-Salem, Inc. We'll use this platform to showcase our local businesses, our community, and their stories. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the show. I'm super excited to have with me here today Carol Davis and Sierra Palmer with SG Atkins CDC in Winston-Salem. If you haven't heard about it, by the end of this show, you're going to know so much about it and want to be involved. So let's start with you, Carol. You are the executive director of this wonderful nonprofit and the special assistant, to the chancellor of Winston-Salem State University. Go Rams! And your mission is for equity and social justice to increase the home ownership rate here in Winston-Salem and business ownership in East Winston-Salem. So I want you to share more about that. And Sierra, we're going to come to you so you can share a little bit about what you do.
Or a whole lot.
But I think, just for me personally, I didn't know a lot about SG Atkins, its connection to Winston-Salem State and everything that you do here. Mm-hmm. So talk about what you do.
Yeah, so people ask all the time, how is SG Atkins CDC connected to Winston-Salem State University? So that is a great question, and I'll start with that. So way back in many decades ago, when Harold Martin was actually the chancellor at Winston-Salem State, that's when I became the director of SG Atkins CDC. The university started the nonprofit organization called SG Atkins Community Development Corporation, and the purpose of it is to be a catalyst for development in the neighborhoods around the university campus. And so since I've gotten there, we did a strategic plan right from the beginning, and that strategic plan said that we should focus on affordable housing and trying to work on revitalizing housing in the communities near the campus, that we should work on creating small businesses, and that would help with job development in the area, and then that we should work with neighborhood organizations and help develop leaders and help those leaders meet their goals. So that's been our mission and our strategy since I've gotten there, and it's still the same today. We're still making progress. We've built 34 single-family homes that we've sold to first-time home buyers.
That's
and
amazing.
we do that as a strategy to help stabilize the neighborhood and create home ownership. That helps to increase property values and helps us just also help families develop equity in property and create wealth. And then we had the chance to buy the old Boys and Girls Club in 2010 down the street from the campus, and that's a 40,000 square foot building that they had outgrown. The Salvation Army Boys and Girls Club got a lot of good use out of that space. They'd been in there for 50 years.
Oh, my goodness.
And then they moved to a new building on Reynolds Park Road. So our Community Development Corporation purchased it, and we completely renovated it. And so now we have about 45 office spaces in there. We have an event center. We have a computer lab.
Wow.
We have a community garden. And we have the shared use kitchen.
Oh, my goodness.
So that occupies all of our time. Between those initiatives, we stay very busy, and we're constantly on the lookout for new partners that can help us with home ownership, that can help us with business development, and just to help us serve the clients that we serve.
I love that. And I would love for us to talk a little bit more about the business development opportunities and programs that you have. But right now I want to switch it over to Sierra so that she can talk a little bit about what she does at SG Atkins and a little bit about her background as well.
Okay, so my name is Sierra Palmer, and I am the Shared Use Kitchen Manager with SG Atkins Community Development Corporation, and then I am also one of the business counselors on staff for the Winston-Salem Women's Business Center. Also a native of Winston-Salem, so I didn't move that far or drive that far
Came back home.
Yeah, I came back home. So I was an App State 2020 pandemic grad,
Wow.
so kind of forced back home. And then had to figure out next steps and found an AmeriCorps program at Wake Forest University, worked with their campus kitchen, learned a lot about, we'll learn more about food insecurity in Winston-Salem and how to, get food to the masses, and then also just about how commercial kitchens work as well, and then landed this sweet gig with SG Atkins and have been here for almost a year now. So it's been really, really good.
Has it been a year? Oh my gosh.
Almost
time
in
flies.
December,
Oh my
yeah.
gosh. And you call it a sweet gig.
A sweet
glad.
gig.
I'm glad you
What's
liked
the
it.
sweetest thing about the gig with the Shared Use Kitchen?
Seeing our food entrepreneurs' businesses grow, because I believe when I first came, it was kind of a slow period for a good few of them. And then probably like 2 or 3 months, so right around like March, like the tide started to turn for 1 or 2 businesses where they were like, I don't know if I should close or what I should do next. And then suddenly they started to get contracts and more catering gigs. And then now they're booming in the kitchen almost about every day. And then a few have like gone into new grocery stores. So kind of just seeing that tide turn for them and being able to like talk up their product, but also get to taste the product, I think is probably the best part. Because earlier we were talking about food, and I was like, "This is where I'm supposed to be." I love food and sharing people's food. So any time that I get the chance to talk about our chefs and all the great work that they're doing in the community and with their food, I'll do it.
That's amazing. For everyone listening that doesn't know about the concept of a shared use kitchen, explain it in layman's terms how it works.
Basically, it's a commercial kitchen that caterers or food producers, whether they have a baking company or a spice company or a sauce company, can rent out monthly. Most of them fall under the health department requirements. So there's certain things that they have to do for the health department to make sure that they're permitted to use the kitchen. But it's basically, it's almost like renting an apartment, but like a kitchen space. So they're able to use it for their business and take it to the next level until they're able to, establish either their own brick and mortar or, buy their own commercial kitchen spot.
And you mentioned taking it to the next level. You mentioned folks having their products in grocery stores and their catering and different things. That doesn't just come out of thin air. It sounds like this is something you guys are helping to cultivate for them to understand actually how to do that and make those connections. So, Carol, talk about some of the entrepreneurial programs you have to help entrepreneurs actually do these things.
So one of the things that we established right at the end of COVID, I think, in April of 2021, we were able to open an SBA-sponsored, a Small Business Administration-sponsored Women's Business Center. So we have a Women's Business Center grant that has allowed us to now have 3 full-time counselors on our staff.
Wow.
And those counselors work with our businesses every day. Most of the businesses they work with are coming from the community, but also from inside the building, and especially from the kitchen as well. And so we have 4 signature workshops that take place, one a week, one we call Tech Talk, one we call Social Media Marketing, one is for Hub certification, and then one is a Lunch and Learn, and that's where we've had Jamarcus from Piedmont Federal come in and talk about financial literacy. And then we've had Latrina Winford as a regular, and she is a mental health counselor. And people love to hear her come in and talk about how to relieve stress as an entrepreneur and how to, take care of yourself while you're trying to grow your business. But we've had a few entrepreneurs who, originally we thought that they would come into the kitchen, they would grow their catering clientele, and then they would move out into their own brick and mortar. But we didn't realize how expensive it is for that process to happen. And Then COVID hit, right after we opened the kitchen. And so what we did then is we tried to get as many opportunities as possible for them to make free meals to distribute to the community. So we worked with Love Out Loud and the city of Winston-Salem and some other funders, and our kitchen caterers were able to prepare and distribute over 50,000 free meals during COVID.
That's
so we're very proud of that they didn't retreat during COVID. They actually leaned in and started serving the community, and we partnered with community organizations to help with that distribution. So that was a great time.
Mm-hmm.
And then, as Sierra mentioned, after COVID, some of them slowly started rebuilding their regular business. They pivoted to online orders, and then when catering started coming back, because people started having meetings again and weddings again and all kinds of social events again, their businesses have picked up, and they're pretty popular. All of them are very popular.
Yes.
Their businesses are growing. And we've had one, the Hugo Bar was with us. The Hugo Bar, William Fulton, he's moved to Charlotte. His production is here in Winston-Salem still, but he has started doing most of his sales in Charlotte and is very successful down there. So we're very proud of him, and all of our food entrepreneurs are doing really well.
That's awesome. Talk a little bit about the co-working and office space that you have available there at the Enterprise Center.
Yes, so we have, I think I mentioned we have about 45 offices, and for the most part, they stay full. We have one that's open right now, but we provide furnished spaces that includes your internet, a desk, a chair, a bookcase, a filing cabinet, a telephone, and some of them have storage closets. And that's your private space that you can rent for a monthly fee. And the monthly fee ranges from, our smallest ones are about $200 a month, up to our largest space, that's $600 a month. And that they also have a mailbox, parking is free. And then we have some shared meeting rooms where they can have their own meetings with clients or with their staff. And so we nurture them. We want everybody to participate in the workshops and continue their learning while they're with us. And then we've watched some of them spin out onto their own. One of the transportation companies is very popular there. Courtney James and her husband Greg, they have a transportation company with us, and they've grown their fleet of vans from 2 vans to 10 vans.
That's
and
so
I think
amazing.
she's trying to get some electric vehicles now.
She just got, I believe, a city loan. Don't quote me on this. I think it's $150,000.
Oh, no, that's a grant.
Oh, it's
from
a
the
grant?
Piedmont Triad Regional Council.
Okay.
Wow.
One of our counselors worked with them, helped them get a grant, and I'm not sure
that's
exactly
awesome.
what they're doing with it, but I'm sure part of it is to upgrade some of their vehicles. And I know she probably should look for a space with a garage, but she doesn't want to leave us.
I was talking to her the other day, and she was trying to come up with ways, because when she wants to get the hybrid vehicles or the electric vehicles, she was like, I wonder if Ms. Davis will let me put a charging
Oh, my
spot.
goodness.
We would love to have a charging station in our parking lot.
Wow.
So she's not going to leave us.
Yeah, but we have some great success stories. There's a janitorial service in our building that started out where the owner was actually a facility maintenance person for the Salvation Army. So we met him when we were touring the building initially. And he told me then that he wanted to have his own business one day. And a few years later, after we bought the building, renovated it, he came to me and said, I've got my own business and I'm ready to move into the incubator.
Wow.
So that was a real full circle moment. His name is Jimmy Price, and his company's called A Step Above Cleaning Service. And he's got a big contract and does cleaning at High Point University and some of their new facilities over there.
Wow.
And stays very busy. Has a fast growing business. And there are others, We have a great T-shirt company in our building. A young man Jabbar, who's actually training. Did you know he's going to run in the New York City Marathon in
I
November?
didn't know that.
Yeah, and you see him, he's always eating health food.
Yeah, I did notice the other day because he had shorts on. I was like, he has like really nice like runner's calves, so that makes sense.
Yeah, and so I take the elevator upstairs, and so we'll approach. You know, I say, I'm going up to the second floor. He says, yeah, I'm going up too. He'll take the steps up, and he's been up 10 minutes before I come up in the elevator, you know. He's just like,
I've seen him like
running
full on
up.
sprint upstairs.
But yeah, he's training for the New York City Marathon in November. And,
That's
and
awesome.
he makes a ton of T-shirts and all kinds of items that he can put images on for people. But,
what amazing success stories you have.
and we have a few nonprofits. We have the Winston-Salem Black Chamber of Commerce in our building,
yes.
you know,
Yes.
led by Calvin Patterson and Gloria Hairston. We have Triad Cultural Arts, led by Cheryl Harry, now in our building. We have a new one that just moved in. His name is Wilton Mitchell, and he is with the Achievement Arts Academy. And it's an after-school arts program that has a contract with the school system. So they go into different schools and run after-school programs.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so we got a great group. Action for Equity, Kelly Easton's in our building.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's like a who's who over there.
Yeah.
How do people get connected to the who's who over there to be a part of that?
Yes, well, just go on our website, take a look, see if it looks like it's for you. Our website is www.sgacdc.org, or they can give a call to the desk where Ms. Pamela McLeod sits most of the time. Our number is 336-734-6900. You can come in anytime between 8:30 a.m. and 5:30 p.m. You can take a look around, and we do have one space available, so it's time.
Wow, that's amazing. I know that we need to wrap up. We've got to invite you back another time to talk more about the shared use kitchen, things you do, and things that are coming up for the SG Atkins CDC. But for everyone listening, what is the one thing that's coming up or that you're thinking about, an idea that might be brewing? Because you have got so much experience in so many different areas. By the way, you guys, she's an attorney as well. Is there anything brewing that people may want to get connected with or help you with?
Well, you and I had a little conversation earlier this week about
did.
you helping us with some things, just a different kind of service, a niche for services that we could try to coordinate and provide for small businesses that is not part of the ecosystem yet, but needs to be. How about that as a teaser?
I love the teaser. More to come on that, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
But again, Carol, Sierra, thank you so much for your time today. Thank you for sharing with everyone. And we're going to definitely have you back on the show.
Thank you for having us.
I should give a shout out to Kyle Luth and Olajumoke Michael and Patricia DeGraff and Reed.
Yes.
They're all parts of our team at the center.
Awesome. Maybe
Thank
we
you.
can have one or two of them come with you next time.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Well, everyone listening, until next time. We know you enjoyed this podcast today, so join us for the next episode of Greater Conversations. By the way, you can follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. Be sure to smash that subscribe button. Also, be sure to visit our website at winstonsalem.com. The views and opinions stated in this podcast are solely those of the contributors and not necessarily those of our sponsors, distributors, or hosting companies. This podcast is copyrighted and cannot be reproduced without expressed written consent of Greater Winston-Salem, Inc. or your toast.